But I want to talk about why Bill Belichick has not gotten a phone call yet or has been offered any head coaching position in the NFL. And it's because he's power hungry. It's because he needs to have ultimate say and ultimate control over the team's decision making. And we saw this a lot in New England towards the back end of his career there, when it seemed like each and every single year, New England's draft would be absolutely putrid. Like, absolutely putrid. They have the worst receiving core in the NFL, maybe even by a country mile, and Bill Belichick was allergic to drafting skill position players. He'll draft guards all live long day and defensive safeties and ends and backers. He'll draft those guys all live long day. But the second they need a wide receiver, either one, he whiffs, N'Keal Harry from a couple years ago. Everybody knows what a bust he's been. Or just some middle-of-the-road safety. That's all Bill Belichick drafted. He drafts maybe a skill position player once in a blue moon when it came to New England. But I want to talk about the guy who was alongside Bill Belichick for all those years when he was power hungry, and that's Nick Caserio, the general manager for the Houston Texans. So you can see Nick Caserio, was doing a lot of good things in New England when it comes to scouting and reporting and, who New England should draft for the future of the team. But ultimately, especially the back end of the career, Bill Belichick was very power hungry, and he had ultimate decision and ultimate say on who the team would draft. Well, isn't it funny that Nick Caserio, in just a few short years, has turned basically the Houston Texans into a juggernaut? Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch of a term, juggernaut, but formidable? Absolutely. I think about guys like Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Brevin Jordan, Will Anderson, CJ Stroud. He hasn't missed in his drafting and developing of players. Houston, I've already said, is primed and ready to make some noise in the AFC and possibly has a puncher's chance to make it to the Super Bowl. CJ Stroud, obviously, is already making a case for being a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, even after his rookie season. And me personally, I would put him in a top 10 quarterback conversation right now. But I think that's just a tip of the cap to Nick Caserio and what a job he's done as general manager for the Houston Texans. When you're older, power hungry, stuck in your ways, have no motivation to deviate from your current situation and what you currently know. Nick Caserio, on the younger end, has seen old, bitter, power-hungry Bill Belichick. He's seen how his drafting works. He's seen how his philosophy of coaching works. He's seen it all firsthand. And Nick Caserio really learned from Bill Belichick. He learned what not to do. Nick Caserio has an argument to be one of the best GMs in this entire league for the work he's done in the few short years he's been with the Houston Texans. So I really think Nick Caserio succeeding in Houston is the biggest indictment on Bill Belichick right now, because this man had ultimate say in New England over Caserio when it came to drafting player personnel and developing player personnel, on the New England Patriots towards the back end of the dynasty. And then now Nick Caserio is just building a great, great team around CJ Stroud and for head coach DeMeco Ryans. So I think Nick Caserio succeeding so well in Houston and really turning this team into, it looks like they're going to be a formidable juggernaut in the AFC in the years to come. And who knows, that might be right around the corner quicker than anybody could have thought. This team was in a rebuild for all intents and purposes last year. Nope. They made a playoff run and destroyed the Browns in the playoffs, ultimately losing to Lamar Jackson, but that was to be expected. They were still a very young team. But Nick Caserio succeeding in Houston is the biggest indictment on Bill Belichick's career at this moment in time. And I think it's the biggest reason that NFL executives around the league, they're looking at this situation. They watched it unfold. Nick Caserio was doubted by Bill Belichick, and realistically, this is how it should basically went. I don't trust your judgment. I'm going to trust mine. His judgment sucked. Caserio clearly is doing great things in Houston. So I think that's the biggest reason Bill Belichick does not have a job right now. And that's because of how successful Nick Caserio is doing right now.